Yeah, well, because Jody knows how to untangle it,
Well,
and
it
stupid
doesn't-
men don't.
It
Men
doesn't
don't.
tangle in the first place when Jody fills in.
Yeah, because Jody knows how to untangle it, and I was trying to undo it. See, I was putting in all this work, thinking I gotta every
don't
day.
do that. It's
The
gonna
listeners
tangle.
watch me, right? Do it, and all you do is hold it upside down until it untangles, and
Yeah.
it's been fine for a week ever since you were here.
But she-
I'm not even listening to you, so there's no point in
do
you even
that.
talking. I can see you out of the corner of my eye trying to talk. You're like Chris Christie trying to mansplain how abortion doesn't matter to a panel full of women, and we don't want to hear.
He
La, la, la,
controls
la.
the microphone and can
La,
turn it
la,
down
la.
anytime.
You have a penis. We're not listening to anyone with a penis. Okay.
It doesn't
I
matter.
Also,
print because you don't know how to.
Don
That's
Jr.
my
has
job.
a penis, and he is awful.
Yes.
Oh my God! So he deletes the horrible, tweet that Eric Swalwell
It's
was
out
just
there
talking
forever.
about. Yeah.
It's still there.
It's
This
still out
is who
there.
they are, Jody.
Yeah,
this
it
is who
is.
they are now.
Was it
It's-
troughed or was it tweeted?
It was tweeted.
It was tweeted.
Oh.
Don Jr. is
Okay.
on Twitter still.
All right.
Oh my God! Remember, and even yesterday, because of all of this right-wing disinformation, we didn't even know. I didn't. I was like, because I think one news report had said Paul Pelosi was in his underwear, which if
was
he was sleeping,
retracted.
but that wasn't even true.
Right, it was
Nothing was
retracted.
true
Yeah.
that they put out
Yeah.
on the right
He
wing.
wasn't. He was in boxers.
He was in boxers,
Right.
but a top. He had a
t-shirt
pajama
on.
top.
Right.
And
That's what I mean. Nothing that they put out there was true,
Right.
and yet it rocketed all over the internet.
Yeah.
Don Jr., who's always the first. Oh God! It's not a surprise such an awful human made such another awful human, but I mean, it wasn't even. Didn't he also do the? Yeah, his was the
The Mr. Garrison.
open carry in San Francisco with the guy with the hammer on his back. Ha ha ha! I mean, okay. I don't. Oh, this one where it's just a man having anal sex with another man, and it says, "Oh, hi, officer, I'm being attacked." Like, oh, ha 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 ha. But it was
the
just
Mr. Garrison from South Park.
Yeah.
yes. But based on nothing. So yeah, and he retweeted all this. However, this grossness. I don't know.
So did Elon.
Yes, right. The richest man in the world. Okay. The conspiracies were quickly squashed after the alleged attacker confessed that the attack and the break-in was politically motivated. Man, you just you hear the right wing just then go silent. Like, oh, everything it's just, oh my God.
Oh no, they're saying
Jody.
it's a hoax now. That
they are.
That it's the deep
Yeah.
state.
Yeah,
and-
that the
Yeah.
San Francisco DA's in on it.
yeah,
and all
everybody's
that,
in on it. Yeah.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
Is that
And
the
I'm
latest?
sure when the
Yeah.
police cam footage is, they're going to say that's a deep
That's
fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep fake.
Yeah. Trust me, they will.
like all the details were backed up by not just the attacker himself, but Paul Pelosi and the police.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yep.
he broke into
Yep.
the house through the glass door with a hammer.
Sure did.
But how horrifying these details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? He stated he was going to hold Nancy hostage and talk to her. If she were to tell him the truth, she'd let her go. If he lied, he was going to break her kneecaps. He later explained that breaking her kneecaps, she would have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there were consequences to their actions.
That's
Yeah.
the horrifying.
Yeah.
The most
I mean,
horrifying
the
part.
zip ties, everything, just
And
like January 6th. The
they-
Where's Nancy, the zip ties.
He wanted to hold her for another person, an unnamed individual.
we don't know who that other
We
person
don't know
is
who
yet.
that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's like crazy town, right?
It is.
And there's straight up right-wing conspiracy
Yes.
theories.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
was the other one that went out there? Oh, he's some leftist because they
Yes,
tweeted a
'cause he was
picture
naked
of a
once.
house with
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter and
Yeah.
LGBTQ. That's not the house where he lives. But it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's obviously a leftist. I mean, it echoes everything. Remember the conversation with Trump and McCarthy
Yeah.
on January 6th? Oh, these are Antifa. BLM, whatever, and they're no. McCarthy's like, no, they're not. They're your people. Oh my God. Okay, where am I? Let me just.
You're in your basement.
Thank you.
See, I help.
I just now it's a public service. We have to go through the actual. But this is the problem: is once lies have as you say, rocketed around the world all weekend, right? Like you don't know. People are even good people that don't. They're just like, oh, was he found like this or that? There's all this, but the right wing, it's so deliberate.
Yeah.
It's so deliberately made up from nothing.
Right.
Okay, so this was a good piece in the LA Times. If you need a piece, shocking new details, blow up conspiracy theories about Paul Pelosi attack. But what they point out, Jody, is we keep saying there's no fringe anymore. The fringe is Congress people.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Yep.
whoever that just perpetuates this stuff. We were talking about how awful Carrie Lake is.
Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on.
14.
Cut 14. Just like it's a punchline. A 82-year-old being hit in the head with a hammer and needing brain surgery is something funny.
Yep.
Okay.
Nancy Pelosi, well, she's got protection when she's in D.C. Apparently, her house doesn't have a lot of protection.
It's the
But-
people laughing in the audience.
Yes.
The
That
moderator
pisses
Our
who
me
was
off.
next to
lawmakers
her.
have protection.
Yeah, it's the
The
people laughing.
moderator's like going to fall out of his chair. That's
yeah.
so funny.
He thought it was hysterical.
Okay. Is that the race? Which race are we talking about
That's
where
Arizona.
the Libertarian has dropped
That's
out?
the Senate race with Mark Kelly
Yeah.
and
Blake
Blake
Masters.
Masters.
And we don't
the
know how
Libertarian
that's
in that
gonna-
race has dropped out, so we have no idea how
Yeah.
that's going to split. Because a lot of Libertarians can't stand Trump.
Right. But they tend to lean Republican.
Right,
Generally,
and so
right?
I have
But
no
Blake
idea what
Masters
that's
is a
going to do.
Trumper.
Yeah.
He's a hardcore
Right,
Trumper.
and so it
He's a
may
douche.
send people to Mark Kelly's side because Mark Kelly is pretty moderate as far as
He's
Yeah.
super moderate.
Democrats go.
Yeah. As Travis and I keep saying, don't pay attention to the polls. However,
Except for you do.
However,
Yeah, this morning you said, "Can you give me this latest poll?"
no, not those. I was saying Chris Hayes did a.
The good
I think
polls
it was
as
Chris.
opposed to the bad
Well,
polls.
Jody, it's hard, like you say. It's hard because Joy Reid did it, which was good. It was a public service, really. What she this is from her piece yesterday. In 6 major battleground states, more than half the polls conducted in October have been conducted by Republican firms.
Right.
Basically, we can't trust the data on Real Clear Politics or 538 any longer. It's essentially Republican propaganda. So that piece was about how it's deliberate that they're trying to dispirit Democrats right before the before the election.
but
right?
our turnout already is higher at this point in
Right.
time than in 2018.
That's what they're saying. It's better to look at the early numbers,
Yeah.
which do favor Democrats. But that being said, like Travis says, just vote. Just vote
Voting
because
is all that
because
Regardless-
the Chris Hayes piece. There's a lot of Senate races. Whatever that polling is, looking really good for Democrats. I think at this point, you've got to just try to tune it out. But I get that Republicans are deliberately trying to, send the
Outpoll.
message that Democrats are going to lose and don't bother voting.
Regardless of what the polls say,
Always
almost
vote.
all of them, almost all, Republican or Democrat, it's all within the margin of error.
Exactly.
That means
Right.
whoever turns out the vote
Oh,
is going to win.
The one
Period.
yesterday,
End of discussion.
Right. The one yesterday, of course, just because of who he is, Herschel Walker is up 1 point. Even him being up, even it being close is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Georgia,
Right.
If you've already voted, make
Yeah.
sure your vote counted because a lot of ballots are not being counted right now. So double check how you can make sure your vote counts because there's I forget what, it's a Florida-based data company
Yeah.
that is tallying up how many votes and what votes are getting counted in what states.
Yeah.
And so, and it says which county, and 67% of the votes are being counted, which means 33% are not being counted.
Yeah.
So make sure your vote is counted if you've already voted, especially in Georgia, especially in Arizona, especially in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
Ohio, all those places. Make sure your vote got counted, and if it didn't, figure out how to cure that.
Yeah. Well, that's why we kept saying, vote early, and a lot of people are doing that so that they do have time.
Yeah.
God forbid.
So that they can cure it.
I love our system here. I wish everyone had. We just, you vote by mail, you get a thing from the register right away.
I think
that
50%
it's been
of the
received.
states now do
Yeah.
ballot
But
You've
track.
been,
Some-
whether it's counted or not,
Yeah.
or whether you
Some
have a
states are
problem.
moving backwards, though. Cochise County in Arizona just went to complete hand count.
Oh my God! Did
That
you see
Nevada
that? How
story.
long it took to?
Yeah.
Oh my! And this is on purpose.
Yeah.
This is on
absolutely.
purpose. Like Rachel did this whole night about how they want to undermine faith in election around the world. Oh, this was a good tweet. Dinesh D'Souza probably is on his way to Brazil to make a documentary called 2,000 Capybaras.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's accurate.
That's funny.
He's also being sued.
Yeah. But yeah, we were saying Bolsonaro, of course, has not conceded because
No.
this
It
is
shouldn't matter.
This is a disease we've exported now. Is this lunacy, right? I mean, it was Steve Bannon yesterday. He cannot concede. This is obviously fraudulent. I mean, this is just their line, right?
New York
How
State
many
young
candidates in this
Republicans.
midterm have already said, if I win, I will," right? But if not, it's not legitimate.
You saw the tweet from the New York State young Republicans saying, "Send in the tanks
Yeah.
in Brazil."
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. They just can't. That's why I realized Jody White, in some ways, he's such a evil. But there is a genius in what Donald Trump does because it's not just his ego and he cannot be a loser. It's that it's like you're a loser too. If I lost, you're a loser
Yep.
too. You're in the minority. You don't want to be a loser, do you? We're the winners. Not those libtards. They couldn't possibly have won.
Right.
And so he plays to all of their egos, and it's just, it's anyway.
It's
Okay.
kind of evil and brilliant at the same
Yeah, that's
time.
what I said.
Yeah.
It's what
It is,
yeah.
It's what he did all the way through. Because
Yeah.
remember, whenever he'd say like, "That's like if something was against him,"
Yeah.
he said they're against America.
Yeah,
not
it's
him.
you.
Against America.
Right.
This is hurting you.
Yes.
He made everything about
The next time you
person.
steal top secret nuclear secrets and sell them to our enemies.
Next
yeah,
time
they're going
I
to come
fart,
for you.
You smelt it.
Tucker Carlson does the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so continuing our public service, would you like to review the actual facts in the Paul Pelosi?
Yes.
As horrible as they are.
Sure.
So right, as I said, he broke through the glass door because I know people like, how'd he get in? Oh, some let him in. Oh, did Paul Pelosi let him? You know, like there was all this.
We've
seen
seen
the
the
picture-
helicopter shots. You saw the damage.
We've
to the
seen
car.
the pictures of the
and the
broken
police
glass door.
confirmed it, and
Right.
DePap confirmed it.
Yeah.
Idiot attacker. He said Paul Pelosi was in bed at the time, appears surprised by him. He told Paul Pelosi to wake up. He was looking for Nancy. Paul Pelosi responded she wasn't there. Paul Pelosi asked how they could resolve the situation. I'm sure he was stunned and trying to figure out how do I get
2
this
o'clock
lunatic.
in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to say, for all you gun nuts, thank God he didn't have a gun because
Yeah.
Paul Pelosi would definitely be dead.
Yeah.
You know, but this is, anyway. DePap said he wanted to talk to Nancy. When Pelosi responded his wife wasn't home. And wouldn't be home for several days. DePap responded he would sit and wait. Once he was inside the home, he wanted to tie up Paul Pelosi so he could sleep because he was tired from having had to carry a backpack. He allegedly took zip ties from his pocket so he could restrain Pelosi. Pelosi moved to another part of the house. DePape allegedly stopped him. Pelosi went to the bathroom while they were talking, called 911 on his phone. That was super smart.
Yeah.
DePape said he stayed after the 911 call because, quote, like the founding fathers with the British, he was fighting against tyranny without the option of surrender.
That's not what that was.
That's not what that was.
Creased. Police arrived at the door at 2:31, knocked on the front door. It was 2 minutes. It was only 2 minutes. The good news, it was only 2 minutes after
Since
the
the
call.
phone call, yeah.
Right. DePape told police that he and Paul Pelosi had gone downstairs to the front door. Paul Pelosi opened the door for police. DePape said Paul Pelosi grabbed the hammer in DePape's hand, to which DePape responded he wasn't going to surrender. He would go through Paul Pelosi. Once the door was open, an officer saw Pelosi and DePape both holding the hammer. DePape's other hand was holding Pelosi's forearm. Anyway, police told him drop the hammer, and that's when he obviously swung. And, that was my question. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, my God. No offense. If he was a black guy, I don't think police would have waited to ask him to drop the hammer or,
No.
Oh God, no. No.
right? I'm
No.
like, what? Why didn't they shoot this guy immediately? Like, okay.
Ow.